And your morning cup of tea and coffee just got a little more expensive. Leading milk suppliers Amul and Mother Dairy have increased milk prices by 2 rupees per litre starting today, Rishika.
Well, absolutely. And why is all of this happening? It is basically on account of rising input costs. This is, remember, the second hike by Amul and Mother Dairy, the biggest milk suppliers across urban India in nearly 6 months. Now, in the beginning of March, both had actually increased prices by 2 rupees a litre. How does this impact you? Let's get a ground report from my colleague Vedant, who's tracking these developments from Delhi. But remember, this is a pan-India price rise, so it's going to be affecting, customers across urban India. Vedant, what's the mood at the dairies this morning? Are people bracing for more such days?
That's right, Rishika. Of course, not so pleasant surprise for people this morning. Of course, as the leading milk suppliers, Mother Dairy and Amul, have hiked milk prices by ₹2 per litre. Now, remember, this is the second such price hike in the past 6 months. Both these milk suppliers had hiked their prices by ₹2 per litre March this year. So, of course, people here, shocked, surprised. Some of them saying that, the common man's budget has received a major hit, particularly after, GST had been imposed on essential items and now on milk as well. Now, why these milk prices have been hiked, that's a separate story altogether. As you mentioned, input costs and procurement costs have increased, which have direct ramifications on milk prices. But at the same time, climate change is also one of the major reasons why milk prices have had to be hiked. And Amul in its statement said that the MRP will of course be increased by 20%, I beg your pardon, 4%, and that of course is lower than the inflation rate right now. But remember, inflation is of course above RBI's threshold, so it of course continues to be high as we speak. Now, of course, I'm joined by a milk vendor here at Mother Dairy. थोड़ा बताएं, आज लोगों का क्या रिस्पांस रहा सुबह से? क्या लोगों को इस बारे में मालूम था कि 2 रुपए बढ़ जाएंगे प्राइसेस? ओवरऑल रिस्पांस क्या रहा है इस मॉर्निंग?
किसी को पता नहीं था। सुबह जो आए हैं उनको सबको पता लगा कि भाई 2 रुपये महंगा हो गया, तो हमारे को भी दिक्कत आती है। खुले चेंज चूंज की उनको भी आती है। एकदम हैरान होते हैं लोग कि भाई 2 रुपये बढ़ गए। 6 महीने के अंदर अंदर 4-5 रुपये बढ़ गए हैं। और एकदम सुनता है जो भी लोग, एकदम बोलता है कि भाई इतना महंगा दूध हो गया, ये है, हमारा बजट कम है, सारा सोचते हैं। ये देखिए
जी। तो वी आर ऑल्सो जॉइंड हियर बाय सम कंज्यूमर। सर, थोड़ा बताएंगे, आज से 2 रुपये बढ़ जाएगा मिल्क का प्राइस, तो इससे कॉमन मैन का बजट किस तरीके से अफेक्ट होगा?
सर, क्या बताएं, गरीब आदमी कहाँ से इतना करेगा बजट? बात यही है सर, और क्या कहें हम लोग, मारा जाए गरीब आदमी।
So, of course, people here frustrated. They say that the common man is going to be the worst hit. Now, adjacent to this shop here, of course, is this nukkad here. And, of course, for us Indians, our mornings are incomplete without sipping on some warm tea and, some bun makhan. And, of course, the person here tells us that he has very recently plonked this poster that says that chai is for ₹12. Now, he'll of course have to change this poster. ये कितने दिनों में आपको ये दाम बदलने पड़ते हैं चाय के?
चाय का दूध का दाम बढ़ जाता है, तब चाय का दाम बढ़ाना पड़ता है।
पर लोगों को क्या इससे फ़र्क पड़ेगा? क्योंकि अब सुबह की चाय तो नहीं छोड़ सकते ना।
लेकिन कस्टमर से 2 रुपया फालतू मांगता तो बोलता है ये तो नहीं दे पाऊंगा मैं।
आप बता रहे थे कोई खुला नहीं देता? अब
चेंज नहीं देता है ना। 10 की चाय है, 12 करता हूँ, 10 ही रुपये देता है, बस यही होता है।
अब आपकी कितनी की हो गई है चाय?
ये चाय हमारा 12 की है, अभी 12 का है, 15 का है।
और पिछले 6 महीने में कितने से दाम बढ़े हैं आपके चाय के?
चाय का भी मतलब 2-3 साल के बाद ही दाम बढ़ा है।
अच्छा।
नहीं तो वही 10 रुपये का 8 रुपये का चलता था।
So, right, of course, Rishika, but the larger story here, of course, is that not only milk, but many such essential items, such as dahi, also pre-packaged items like dal, of course, rice, wheat, all of these have, witnessed a price hike in the past 6 months. So the larger story there, of course, is that is India eating healthy? And all these price hikes, what will its ramification be on India's nutrition story? That is really the larger question that we should be asking right now.
Vedant,
Well,
of course, the price of milk and milk products are going up from today, but of course, it has a lot to do, like you mentioned, with climate change. So, the heat wave and a long summer is the reason behind this hike in prices.
That's right, Divya, and not just the heat wave, of course, but unexpected rains have also had an impact on the cattle feeding costs, and farmers, of course, have also raised their prices. So all of that has added to this price hike, and Amul in its statement said that this is just going to have a 4% impact on the MRP of milk and milk-related products. But they said that it's lower than the food inflation, but food inflation itself is much higher than the RBI threshold. So that of course cannot be any parameter or standard at all. Also, I mean, what is going to be expensive now? Mother Dairy has said that all its milk variants will now be expensive, and Amul has said that it's single-toned milk, double-toned milk, all of it will now be expensive. So a major, a blow to consumer budget, as we mentioned earlier.
All right. Well, Vedant, I hope you enjoy some nukkar chai and some bun maska while you're at it. And we will, of course, continue to track this story. It's going to have a domino effect. It doesn't end, remember, at the milk prices. It will spiral into other essential commodities as well. A story that we will continue to track here on NDTV very closely.